Yo, we're back to another episode of Nothing Agreed. Back with the boys. B Dubs. How we feeling? How we doing? It is a mid-August week now. We know your studies are now starting up.
That's right. Yeah. Had a little month break for us. Some time for some birthdays. Time for end of summer. Mainly, yeah. You're right. Getting back into the school routine, senior year. I know you're not back up at campus yet, but
No, I am.
oh, you are. Oh,
I
my
started
fault.
school. I started school way before y'all did. I
Oh,
started
my
school the
fault.
13th.
My fault.
The disrespect out here.
That's
Does this
crazy.
not look like a dorm room? I mean, come on now.
No. Does this?
Yeah, you know why? It's because look at the flags we have in the back. That it symbolizes dorm room 101.
Yeah. Well, that's also just college 101 in my
Yeah.
opinion, but.
So there you go. Like college. There you go. That's what I'm saying.
But we're not here to talk about college today. We're here to talk about the big boys playing football.
Ooh, I'm a big boy.
That's right. NFL kickoffs right around the corner, September 4th. Eagles, Cowboys. We're about to beat that ass. And before we jump into all the preseason and training camp, palooza, whatever we want to call it, hubbub, all that, let's talk about some crazy stuff that's been going on this offseason that hasn't that about players wanting to leave teams. Micah Parsons, let's just throw that out there. We're talking about the Cowboys already. He does not want to be a Cowboy anymore. We've seen Trey Hendrickson. The Bengals are now fulfilling his trade request and are shopping him around. We've seen some other players hold
Terry
off.
McLaurin.
Terry McLaurin has not been participating, waiting for a contract
He's
extension.
off the pup list now, though, which is good.
Okay, that's good. Yep. But yeah, there's just a lot of big names. I mean, it's that time of year. Big names are moving around. Rumors are floating. But yeah, it's time. I mean, we're less than about or we're 2 weeks away from the start of the season. And yeah, I mean, what are we doing? If you're the Cowboys, Brooks, and I know everyone's been talking about this. Oh, this is all media attention. This is part of getting contracts done. This is just part of it. But why is it? Would you think? Why would it seem like this happens every time?
Well, we
At
all
least,
know
at
why.
least with the Cowboys. Out,
We
but
all know
why
why.
outside of the I guess the pizzazz of it? Because obviously that's why. But
I mean, we all know why everything happens with the Cowboys. It starts with, first of all, the team, of course, the biggest media, biggest franchise, but it all starts with the double J, Jerry Jones, right? He says things that he should not be saying, as not only as an owner, but if you're going to run the team, you should not be saying things that you're running the team with. Let's be honest
mm-hmm.
here. Michael Parsons is a generational talent. Honestly, I think he has the potential to be one of, if not the best edge rusher of all time. Now that sounds crazy, but for every season he has had double-digit sacks since his rookie season, starting his rookie season, he's done something that almost no players have done before. He's in the top echelon of names. Pay the damn man. Like, what are we doing here? You have a generational talent. You need to pay him like he's a generational talent. Okay? That needs to be the end all be all, right? You look at somebody like Trey Hendrickson, who's on the block. You look at someone like Micah Parsons, who's on the block. You got Terry McLaurin on the block. There's other people, like we talked about earlier, who's just popping out. But Barron, in my opinion, I would love to know yours, but in my opinion, I think the only person is Trey Hendrickson that'll actually be moved if there is a chance to be moved. I don't see Scary Terry getting moved. I don't see Micah getting moved. I think Trey Hendrickson, just because he's going on the back half of those 30s, or just going into those 30s, the back half of those 20s, I think that's why he's going to get moved. But I don't think those other two players, let alone some of the other superstars, are asking out to get moved.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't see. I mean, well, let's put a pin in Michael Parsons for a second. But like you said, Trey Hendrickson's on the getting to be on the wrong side of 30. We already know how much money the Bengals have wrapped up in Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. We already saw how their front office handles things. We saw what happened to Jamar Stewart and all that. He's been signed, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, this just doesn't look like a situation where Trey Hendrickson's going to be a Bengal. I mean, they've spent all their money on their big name players. They have their guys. And yeah, I mean, they gotta save for the future. I mean, they could like shell out and give every last penny to Trey Hendrickson, but then if you still have a bottom five defense, which I mean, based on preseason reps, it looks like you probably will. Yeah, you're just gonna have that for the next until Joe Burrow retires if you have all this money wrapped up in all these offensive players. So yeah, I agree. I think Trey Hendrickson's gonna get moved. I think the news or the big shocking news that the Bengals have now started to listen to offers and are considering offers that came out yesterday is more evidence of that he's probably going to get moved. We'll talk about where he goes in a second, but Terry McLaurin next. I don't know. This is the one I'm most intrigued by because you have a team who went to the conference championship, right, off a rookie quarterback. So why would you not go give that rookie quarterback his best weapon from the year prior? A guy who's been in your organization his whole career, has wanted to stay in this organization his whole career, has been with you through every bad season, and now when you finally show signs of having success, you don't want to pay him. And granted, I get it. It's a business, and you want to save for the future. Terry McLaurin's getting old, but I mean, there has to be some personal connection in this business, or else no one's gonna want to go play for you. And I hate to do this and use my team as the example, but I think it's a great example of how Roseman pays players early and secures their contracts. That to other players, you can listen to other players talk on podcasts and interviews and all that. They say this. That's attractive to other players when front offices recognize and take care of players. When they do things like what the Commanders are doing or the Bengals are doing, that's not attractive to players, and free agents don't want to go there. And that means you have to probably give them more money to swing them to come play for you. So it's just basic, in my opinion, organizational competence. I think this is a no-brainer. You give Terry McLaurin his money. I mean, this is probably going to be his last contract. You're giving Jaden Daniels nothing right now. Well, I don't want to say nothing. He's the second overall pick or third overall pick, but
not the big deal that he can
but
get.
not the. He's not in the top 10 quarterbacks being paid right now. And I mean, look at the teams that do have top 10 paid quarterbacks. They have good receivers that are being paid. So that one makes no sense to me. You need to pay that guy and get him on the field and ready, because if Deebo Samuel's your wide receiver one, I mean, I'm the Eagles fan. I'm hoping for this because that's a cakewalk back to the divisional title for us. But yeah, I'm not scared of Deebo Samuel if that's your wide receiver one. I don't think any other team is either. Now, Micah Parsons situation. Again, as an Eagles fan, I pray that he does get traded somewhere. Just because I hate the Cowboys, everyone knows that. But
I think everyone knows that.
yeah. But yeah, I think I don't see how they let him go. Like you said, he's probably, besides CeeDee Lamb, probably their best player. I would argue he's probably better than CeeDee Lamb. I don't know why you haven't already paid him. Like you said,
he's better than CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's be honest. Is there a better edge rush in the league? Maybe TJ Watt?
I know, Myles Garrett.
That's fair. I'm more of a DN than a left outside linebacker or outside linebacker, but that's fair. You could say those three are the best three.
Well, I would consider Watt. I would consider Myles Garrett a defensive end before I consider either one of them a defensive end.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
that's what I'm agreeing. I think TJ Watt would be more of an outside linebacker rusher. Yeah.
Well, I think, again, we're just taking politics out of it. In terms of pass rushing, yeah, those three are probably the best. I think as a pure defender, Myles Garrett's the best because he's a much better run defender than those two. But, again, in terms of pure pass rush, yes, Michael Parsons, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, those are probably the three best in the league right now. Yeah, what are we doing? And, again, outside of quarterback, I think pass rush is probably one of the most important positions on the field. I would argue it's the second most important, maybe third behind defensive tackle, but defensive line outside of quarterback is very important to winning games. I mean, we'll talk about this in a little bit with the Giants, but their defensive line is going to win them games this year. They are good. So, yeah, defensive line is very important. I don't know why we're not paying Michael Parsons. He needs to get paid, and I don't think he's going to get traded like you agreed. But to wrap all of this up, where do you think Trey Hendrickson's gonna land?
That I don't know. Of course, being Falcons biased, I want to go to the Falcons, but I don't think we have anything to really give teams right now.
So you just drafted two edge rushers.
But that's not true because Jalen Walker is more of an actual linebacker than an edge rusher. He can be, right? But if we're talking about the percentages of what he played in college at Georgia, it was more of a true linebacker than that edge rusher. James Pierce, that is an edge rusher. right? Jalen Walker can be used as an edge rusher, but I love that he's kind of
Gotcha.
like a specialist kind of package, can go anywhere kind of guy.
Gotcha.
At least in the front seven, not the defensive tackle, but anywhere from middle linebacker outside the defensive end. But I think that honestly could be a still glaring spot that could be open. It does not hurt. I don't think he will. I actually don't know the best suitors for Trey Hendrickson. Of course, I think it's going to be someone who's pushing for a playoff spot.
It's interesting you said that. Let me see if I could find the notification. It came out yesterday,
But
but it was like the first three teams that were what's it called? Yeah, three teams interested are the Panthers, Browns, and the Colts. Per Jordan Schultz, are the first three teams to show interest. And you and I both know I'm pretty high on the Panthers coming into this season. They could be a playoff team, but I don't think the Browns or the Colts are a playoff team. And
I think the
I don't
Colts
know.
are outsider looking in. I wouldn't
Yeah,
say
I can
they're
see.
dead
Well,
in the water like the Browns, but they're an outsider definitely looking in. So
I don't think so.
look, let me say this because
Okay.
the bounce with Trey Hendrickson, I think it's tough for both parties to actually get a move, but I think it's the only one that can realistically make sense because the Cincinnati is a playoff team. Let's not get anything twisted about it. They are a team that their aspirations bare minimum is playoffs. Zach Taylor can't reach that, you're automatically fired, right?
Yeah.
And the aspirations go extended. I know they didn't make the playoffs last year because of that defense, but their aspirations go further than just, hey, we're making the playoffs. This is a team that was in the Super Bowl 3 seasons ago. And this is a team that has, multiple players that are superstar players on offense. The defense just needs to clean it up. And that's all I can say about it, really. They just need to put it together. It's just hard to move off a superstar when you are a team who's in the playoff, like looking in the playoffs,
Well, since we're talking about the Bengals' historically awful defense, let's just segue right into what we've seen in the preseason and training camp. Because Bengals played a lot of their defensive starters in their first preseason game against the Eagles. This is probably one of the bigger headlines out of that week, so I get to talk about it, thankfully. Tanner McKee lit them up. I forget his specific stat line, but he looked phenomenal for a backup quarterback, sparking headlines. Lots of other teams could use him on their roster right now, stuff like that. What's the guy? Why am I forgetting the guy's name? Anyway, let's just move on. But yeah, I mean, is there reason to be concerned that the Bengals played a lot of their defensive starters and did not look too good against backups? Again, it's preseason, one game, not even a full game. It's probably like half of a half, not even like a quarter. But
no, but there's definitely reason to be concerned. I see what you're saying about it's only preseason. I never like overreacting to preseason friendlies, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally, I think it can be a concern. If your first team defense cannot push past a second team offense, I don't care if it's the Super Bowl champions. They can't push past a second team offense. We're going to look really concerned when that first team defense has to play a Lamar Jackson on the schedule twice a year. A Joe Burrow on the schedule twice a year.
Well, they don't play Joe Burrow.
I don't know why I said Joe Burrow. Maybe even a Steelers offense twice a year with Aaron Rodgers, right?
We'll see how
He's
that
looked
looks.
kind of concerning in training camp, but it's still a bad man out there. We're still talking about. I'll pull up the schedule exactly because I'm pretty sure the Bengals have one of the hardest schedules or one of the toughest schedules going into the season. I mean, look.
Yeah, no,
They play the Browns to open the season,
theirs is hard.
But you look at they play at Minnesota. That could be a tough game. You never know what JJ's going to do. At Denver, they have the Lions. They play the NFC North as one of them. They got the Lions at Green Bay, right? Chicago. That's a tough one as well.
Yeah, no,
at Buffalo, Baltimore twice, Drake May, and the Patriots. It could be a tough one. Like those are a lot of tough games on the schedule.
I mean, I'm genuinely don't think the Bengals will make the playoffs this year. They're in a hard division. The AFC is very challenging, and they have a hard schedule. They have to stay ahead of Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, who is probably the best roster in the AFC right now. They have to stay ahead of them to win their division. If not, they're fighting for a wild card spot against a lot of other good AFC teams. People are pretty high on the Broncos. That division might be competitive. We'll see what the AFC East looks like. That'll probably be a Buffalo cakewalk. But if the Patriots are competitive, they're going to be pushing for a playoff spot. And yeah, like you said, stay in division. We don't know what the Steelers are going to look like. We know Mike Tomlin's famous, never had a losing record or losing season, so they're probably going to be pushing for a playoff spot. This is just a lot of talented teams that are going to be pushing for playoff spots that, yeah, they might not have offensive firepower that the Bengals have, but they sure as hell have a much better defense. I mean,
And
genuinely, I think the Bengals are going to have a bottom 3 defense this year again. They're terrible.
we'll see. Shamar Stewart looked
Shamar
really
Stewart did look
good
good. We'll see
in
what he
in
can do.
in what
But
we've seen, but that's a rookie. You
but yeah,
can't just
and you're losing his mentor and your best player. So
if he does
yeah.
go, if they can't get past the
But
impasse, then
that's right. Let's keep it in that division though. Move over to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've been having a hot training camp in preseason. What is this new offense going to look like, right, Brooks? Aaron Rodgers is like 45 or something. DK Metcalf's getting locked up by Jalen Ramsey in training camp. Is there reason to be worried about what we're going to see from the Steelers offense this year?
there's reason to be worried about every Steelers offense every single year. I mean, you look at every single year that they've played. If I'm a Pittsburgh fan, I am concerned every single time,
Well,
right?
no, because
That's just what it is.
I talk to a lot of them because I know a lot of them, and they're like, nah,
I'm a
Mike
couple too.
Tomlin's never had a losing season. We're fine. And
I've
I'm
heard,
just look at them like,
I've heard the opposite.
I was
I've
like,
heard
did you not see what the Jets did with Aaron Rodgers last season? I mean, I'm not going to say that Garrett Wilson is a better receiver than DK Metcalf, but I think it's pretty close, honestly. I don't think you're really giving Aaron Rodgers that much of a better um, roster to work with offensively over in Pittsburgh than what he had in New York. You could argue that the coaching's probably going to be better, but other than that, I mean, how much is that going to help? Again, 45-year-old Aaron Rodgers, he's been coached enough. He could be the coach. He doesn't need to be coached. He's been in the league long enough to know what to do. And if he couldn't do it with the Jets, what makes you think he's going to do it with the Steelers? Now, granted, we can talk about this, and I think we can talk about the Browns with this as well, but that Steelers defense is going to win games. Jalen Ramsey looks pretty good, at least from the clips I've seen. It does not look like he's missed a beat. He looks like he's ready to kind of come back from that couple down years of Miami. So I would be worried if I was Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow throwing against him. So that's a little scary. We know how that defensive line is. Those what's the guy? How am I forgetting? The guy from NC State, their rookie last year. Is it Logan Wilson?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. He looked good too in the few clips I saw. So we'll see how they look. We know Mike Tomlin's always got it.
Let me say
Got it
another
figured
reason to be
out.
concerned, right? Your Steelers friends are not concerned. The ones I know are concerned. Let me say one of the reasons why is I think you can make a pretty solid argument that the offensive line for the New York Jets is actually a better offensive line than the one for the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. I'm just saying, you're talking about the skill positions, right? If Aaron Rodgers doesn't have time, DK Metcalf is a deep ball specialist, right? I mean, his average, I don't have it off the top of my head for average yards per reception, but we already know with the eye test that he's a deep ball kind of guy. You're going to have other guys who are going to get open, but if that's your mainstay, is you have your number one is a deep ball guy, your offensive line, I think, is bottom 10 in the NFL, is not better than the New York Jets.
Yeah, no.
This team, there's a lot of concern. Jaylen Warren is your running back. I know Najee Harris runs like he's got jeans on, but 1,000-yard runner every season. We'll see what Jaylen Warren can do as the one. I think that this team, that's what I'm saying, is if you give me Bengals versus Steelers,
Ooh, I don't know about that now.
I think Joe Shiesty, low key. I think Joe Burrow can get something done.
I think that's a series that gets split. I think you'll see a good game from the Bengals offense and a good game from the Steelers defense. But like you said, we'll see how that works. And yeah, I mean, we'll just, like you said, that's kind of one of those teams we'll just kind of have to wait and see how it looks. Last team we'll talk about AFC North because we know the Ravens are the Ravens. They look pretty good, and like I said, probably the best roster top to bottom in the AFC. The Browns, their defense looks good. Myles Garrett looks amazing. They had joint practice with the Eagles. Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson kept talking about how unblockable he is, best defender in the league, blah, blah, blah. Their defense is really good. That defense will probably win them a couple games as well. But the big question coming out of Cleveland, Who's throwing the ball? They have not named a starter yet. Everyone seems to think it's going to be Joe Flacco. Of
Yep.
course, people want it to be Shadur
It's
Sanders.
going to be Joe Flacco.
It's probably going to be Joe Flacco.
Just put it there. Why else would they? Why you could make the argument? Why would they pick someone else?
Why? Well, my question is, why do you draft 2 rookie quarterbacks and not start a single one of them? Instead, put in a guy who you know what he's going to give you, which is just competent game managerial play. You don't have, besides Jerry Jeudy, you don't have any other playmakers that can take over the game. So I don't know why you're settling for a game managing quarterback. I know they're trying to tank and all that, but I mean,
let's
put a rookie quarterback in and see what they can do.
You're the coach of the Browns. Let's say you just have the highest power of the Browns, right? You control their decisions on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get fired, okay? Why don't you? I had this argument with a friend. Why don't you play? You have 17 games in the season. Why don't you do either 9 games Dylan Gabriel, 8 games Shadur, or you do first half Dylan, second half Shadur, right? If you really want to throw it in there and be like Kenny Pickett could have a chance, which
my question is, why do you bring in all of these quarterbacks, right? You draft 2, you bring in Kenny Pickett, who's not a veteran per se, but I don't want to say he's like a younger guy, but he's not that old. I mean, he's only been in the league, 4 years, something like that. So, and he's proven he's shown some flashes of being good. So to me, a team, be quiet. He's won a couple games.
Shown flashes. I could say anybody's shown flashes of being good. Let's just keep it based down the line. He was not a good quarterback.
You can't say anyone has shown. DTR has never shown a flash of being good.
Who?
Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Do you not remember him in preseason?
No. I do. I remember watching his preseason game 2 days ago, and he looked terrible.
Last preseason, everyone was like, this is the savior for the Browns. See what I'm saying? This is what everyone has flashes of greatness. Do you not remember DTR's preseason last year? I remember it like it was yesterday.
No.
Like everyone was freaking out about it.
No.
DTR has shown flashes of being good. Everyone can show flashes of being good unless you're just straight trash. You know? Most people are going to show flashes of being good. That's why they're in the NFL.
Regardless.
And a first round pick, Kenny Pickett, by the way. So
whatever. Kenny Pickett, sure, fine. Regardless, why do you have all these quarterbacks and you're going to go with the guy who's like 48? And he's like, we know who Joe Flacco is at this point. Like, he's not throwing for 400 yards in a game. He's not diving out of the pocket while throwing before his elbow hits the ground. He's not rushing for 30 yards, breaking a sack. Like, we know what he's doing. He's taking the snap, and he's looking for an open receiver, and he's going to find it. And if he can't, he's going to throw the ball away. That's all they're asking him to do, and it's not a hard job. So why, if you're trying to rebuild your organization, are you not trying to go out there and be like, we have 2 young quarterbacks. This one, Shadur Sanders, has a lot of high praise. A lot of people believe in him. Granted, that could be nepotism or it's just standing with him because of his dad or whatever. But you look on the other side, you got Dylan Gabriel, who is also a very highly regarded quarterback coming out of college. Or not compared to every other college quarterback out of last year. I'm talking like the guys that didn't get drafted, the guys that graduated and went to car dealerships. Like, he's still a good quarterback compared to those guys.
We're talking about the National Football League. We're talking about where he's compared
I'm
with.
I'm talking about coming out of college. Why are you not giving one of these kids a chance? I'm just asking, why are you not giving one of the young guys a chance and you're just letting the old guy do it? That makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Yes, it does.
What are you trying to accomplish with Joe Flacco?
Okay, every team in the National Football League is competing for one thing, and that's the Super Bowl, right? Who gives you the highest chance of winning when you start him? Probably the guy that's played the most seasons, has the most experience under center, that has an experience winning a Super Bowl, that's experience going to the playoffs, that's carried teams that looked bad, won NFL Comeback Player of the Year, and all that in 9 yards. Joe Flacco, right? What has Shadur proved in the NFL? I mean, he had a good preseason game, so did Dylan Gabriel, but what have they proved in the NFL? Nothing. If you want to go out there and try to win football games, I know we're talking about probably one of the bottom 3 teams in the league. You're still trying to go out there and win football games. That's the way to do it. That's how you start the season, right? And now let me give you this. Ready? You're a business owner, right? You put Joe Flacco in, he gives you the best chance of winning. You start dipping. You start dipping, right? What happens when you announce Shedeur Sanders is starting quarterback week 6? Boom. It's right back up. You got your interest right back up. Now you can put, because if you suck week 8 and you're still playing Joe Flacco, think about how many seats are getting sold. Nothing. If you suck and you at week 8 and you announce your Sanders quarterback coming to the next home game, that's going to start selling seats. That's going to start selling seats. So they have the perfect, not only business model, but the right thing to do is play the guy who has to give you the highest chance of winning.
Yeah, but I'd also argue if you want to go from the business model, it'd be more profitable to just start Shedeur Sanders from week 1 because or morale won't be down, expectations will be up. You could charge more probably. I mean, because think about it, a week 1 ticket against the Bengals is going to be worth a lot more than a week 8 team or ticket against whoever they play when they're 0-8. That's just how it is.
No. Because week 1, right? What is everyone excited to see? Football. I'll pay a ticket to see week 1 because the football's back. I've been drained from football. Now that I have 7 weeks of football, and I've watched Joe Flacco toss the pigskin into the other team's hands for 5 times, 8 times this year in 7 games. Now I announce Shedeur Sanders quarterback. Oh my gosh, Deion Sanders' son, the guy who's savior of Colorado, comes in, and I'm sad. Now I have something to be happy about again to go right back in the seat, right? Week 1, I can sell false dreams. I can sell it because you haven't seen the product yet. And I'm starved of the product.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like when you're trying to, I don't know, develop a guy, I guess it just doesn't make sense to hold him back.
But would it not make sense to be like, hey, let's develop a guy and make him watch the NFL regular season? Not when he goes. That's when he's going against the 2s and the 3s, right? When he's watching the 1s, he can look at the iPad, he can look at the reads, he can look at the playbook, actually play out from an aerial view, right? You get to still talk to Joe Flacco, maybe what he was seeing. He can tell you that you're learning a lot more than just trying to do it on the fly.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just don't.
I'm just saying.
Like
I'm just saying.
Whatever. Let's leave the AFC North because I'm tired of talking about them. Other
Let's
big.
talk about something right here. Ready? We talk about a lot about worst to first. Let's bounce over to a division that I think will not get enough coverage this year, which is the NFC West. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the NFC West will not get enough coverage this year. You got the Seahawks, new quarterback coming in, Sam Darnold. Right? You got, in my opinion, the team that probably has the best chance going to worst to first. I know it isn't likely because it is a worst to first, but the San Francisco 49ers are still a decent team in the NFC West that could still be open. The Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. coming out of the second year. How's the chemistry looking there? That's a team that is riding some waves. We don't know. They're probably going to be mid. That's the best way to put it. Thank you, Brian Dable. Right? And then you got the Rams, who are probably the high and out through favorite to win the division. But still, there's a lot of question marks going into that team and how they can perform. I think that's the division that, honestly, San Francisco could be a worse to first team. I don't like it. But if you're telling me out of every division, the team that could be worse to first, why wouldn't the 49ers probably have the best chance?
I agree with that statement. Out of any team that was finished last in their division to win it in the following year, it probably would be the Niners. But to me, and again, I think there's a reason this division isn't getting a lot of coverage. To me, this is the Rams' division to lose. Everyone knows about the Rams. I'm not going to spend too much time on them. Let's just look at the other teams. The Seahawks just signed Sam Darnold. You let go of you let go of, or you got Jackson Smith and Jigba, wide receiver 1, and what's his face? Kenneth Walker.
You lost Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, you
did lose Tyler Lockett. You lost DK Metcalf.
Yeah, you did, but you got Kenneth Walker in the back. That defense is good though.
That defense has the best defensive line in the league. I'm standing on that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would still say the Giants, but I don't hate that. But
line in the league?
Yeah, best defensive line?
Yeah, out of all 4?
Yeah, I would say it's probably the Giants.
I like Seattle. I think that honestly could be the best defensive line in the league right there.
I'd still take the Giants, but
okay, all right, we disagree. But
that's fine. Again, I'm not saying Seattle's bad. I'd probably have them 2 or 3, but I would still probably say the Giants because Dexter Lawrence is the best line or defensive tackle in the league. But my point being is, to me, the Seahawks are probably the team that's going to contend with the Rams. You could probably throw the 49ers in there. I'm at this point, I'm not a huge Kyle Shanahan believer. I think he has He's smart, but he doesn't get it done when it matters. We've seen that time and time again. He's lost a lot of his weapons. Debo Samuel, I mean, he's just gotten old. He isn't the same player, so I don't think that would have mattered. I think trading him is fine, but I mean, Brandon Ayuk doesn't want to be there. I don't even know if he's injured or not, but I mean, they're seriously saying Ricky Pearsall's going to be wide receiver 1, which is fine. I think Ricky Pearsall's a good player, but he's coming to his second year. He didn't get a ton of reps last year. I think you're going to see a lot coming out of George Kittle's production-wise, but he's getting old. Same with Christian McCaffrey. We'll see how his season goes, but we know with his injury history that probably won't go well. And then the big question mark is Brock Purdy, right? You put all the right pieces around him, he can play really well. That's what we've seen. He's gone to a Super Bowl, but now they're not all there. So
give him the bag.
Let's see what you got. Now it's time to kind of play like a real NFL quarterback. Let's see what you got, kid. And granted, I don't think he's gonna suck or anything, but I just don't see this team really competing. And then you look at their defense of all the players that they lost this offseason. They didn't really replenish that production in any way. So I think they lost a lot on defense. And I'm just not big on that offense. But the Cardinals, the Cardinals. I mean, everyone's seen that one Kyler Murray pass, and everyone's going to overreact to it. But, I mean, honestly, who was he throwing it to there? I didn't see a receiver in sight.
I did see the receiver. You didn't see the receiver?
He was 15 yards in front of him, so I figured he was throwing to another person. But if he was throwing to him...
The guy who intercepted the ball was just right in front of the dude he was throwing it to.
No, the guy, he's like 15 yards behind him.
No, all right, whatever.
All right, unless we're talking about a different play.
The one where it was intercepted at like the 3-yard line?
No.
The one where he just threw it right to the guy. That was a red zone situation.
When he rolled out?
When he rolled out left and just went like that? That was a red zone situation.
Yeah, the defender's 15 yards behind him, though.
He's not 15 yards. If he catches the ball at like the 3, that's not 15 yards. He's not sitting in the back.
This is a different play then, because the ball is at least in the air for 10 yards. Regardless, it was not a good play from what I saw. There was not a defender in sight. I mean, Kyler Murray to me he had one good year. They got rid of Cliff Kingsbury, and it just has not been good for him. I know a lot of people are saying Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to struggle. I forget their reasoning, but I've just been seeing that a lot, so I'm just going to kind of buy into that for right now and agree with it. But we'll see what happens. I think he could be good, but there's just not a lot of like to be hyped about, I guess, in Arizona. There's not a lot of big things coming, I guess, but we'll see how their season goes. But yeah, that's how I think the NFC West is going to shape out, at least. Are
we serious here, Barron?
What?
Are we serious here?
What?
About the Kyler Murray interception?
Unless there's another clip. Unless this is a different clip.
I mean, I would turn my computer around and show you this. I'm doing that right now just to win this argument.
I want to see this.
Look at this. Ready?
Yeah.
Right there is the defender. Marvin Harrison's right here. That's where he's throwing it to.
Okay, so the clip I saw, it cuts out the back two players.
He rolls out left, right?
Yeah,
it's a bad throw. No, we're not saying it's not a good throw, but I see where he was trying to go to.
No, my point is the clip I saw did not have Marvin Harrison or the back. Go back to the screen.
I actually paused it perfectly.
Yeah. Or no, go back. Rewind 5 seconds.
You want me to go back to the?
Yeah, I'll tell you when to stop. We're breaking down film.
I'm back at the starting line. I'm back at the starting formation. When do you want me to stop it?
I'll tell you when. Turn it around.
Is it
whoever that receiver is that's breaking out into the flat on the left?
Trey McBride.
Okay. I thought the ball.
He just cuts it where it doesn't show Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, because I never saw Marvin Harrison on that clip, so I thought he was trying to throw that ball to Trey McBride, and it's just a terrible overthrow, and he throws it all the way to that back receiver. So I was like, "What are you doing?"
It's really blurry, but like,
yeah,
I'm guessing
exactly
like that.
Yeah,
right.
Kind of. Anyway.
Yeah, you just got misinformed. That's all.
All right.
Had to put you in place.
Regardless, the Cardinals aren't going to the playoffs. That's all you need to take away from that.
So you think the only team that's going to the playoffs of the division is the Rams?
No, I could see
that's honestly fair because you look at the NFC.
I can see the Seahawks making noise. And again, the 49ers very well could. I just don't see it happening. I'm not big on him. I don't think Kyle Shanahan's all that. And especially, he's not a great defensive coach. And you look at, again, all the places they lost defensively, it's going to be hard for them. So we'll see what happens. One last division I want to talk about, and then if there's any you want to, I'll give it to you. But I want to talk about the AFC East. This is we all know the Bills are the Bills. They're going to be good.
Let's talk about the AFC East.
Yeah, Josh Allen's going to be Josh Allen. Yeah, they're going to go to the playoffs, yada, yada. We're not talking about them. Let's start with the Jets. All right? Everyone's going to talk. We all saw the clip from this weekend. They chip blocked Abdul Carter to the ground, and he talked back on Instagram, yada, yada.
Talk back on Twitter. I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter, whatever. But Justin Fields does not look good. We've seen training camp clips. We've seen preseason clips. He just has not looked good. Has not looked accurate. Has been off on his timing. Has just missed throws. Made some poor decisions. And then you look at the other side of their offense, their run game. It's been announced that they're going to do a running back by committee, and I think there's like 4 running backs that they're planning on using. So we'll see how that goes. Defensively,
let's just keep it a buck here. Okay, let's just keep it a buck. Okay.
Well, I think defensively,
we're talking about the AFC East.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. Hold on.
What else are you thinking about?
I'm saying defensively, I think the Jets are going to be a little bit better than they were last year. I think that's going to be a little area of surprise for some people. But yeah, offensively, I don't think they're going to be very good. We'll see what they do. If they want to make any last-minute moves to help Justin Fields. But like I said, yeah, we'll see. Next, let's talk about the Patriots. I think that's a big team in this offseason that is getting a lot of coverage, at least from what I'm seeing. But yeah, Drake May's coming into year 2. I think the Patriots are gonna be good this year, Brooks. I didn't talk about this back when we were talking about the Bengals and AFC playoff teams, but I think the Patriots could be a playoff team. They could easily get to 10-7, sneak in maybe 2 more wins, and be like the 6th seed. I mean, Drake May has looked pretty good. Stephon Diggs has looked pretty good. I think a lot of people thought he was going to be a lot more washed. I mean, again, he's not the receiver he once was, right? He's not this guy that was playing with Josh Allen, 150 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns, all that. But he's clearly the Patriots' wide receiver 1 and Drake May's wide receiver 1. They look good together. He's been. I mean, have you been looking at these clips at all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still think there's, but again, I know it's a very bull at the helm. Okay, he's driving the ship. I know this is year 2 Drake May. People have high expectations. Stephon Diggs coming in. I still think there's a lot of question marks with the Patriots. I know they're favored in a lot of their games. I know they might have an easier schedule than others, but I think there's still a lot of question marks to be answered.
Their defense looks good.
I was going to say that playoff push should be in the cards with that defense, especially that can make some noise. I think it should be in the cards. You're right.
Milton Williams is looking to be like the player, is looking to be worth every penny.
If we're talking about this division in general, this is by far and large the Bills to lose. I mean, the Bills are probably going to be – the Bills, in my opinion, are going to probably – should be the favorite to have the best record in all of football, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think they should have – I honestly, I think that's the case. I think the Eagles have some noise with that.
No, I would agree with the Bills. The Eagles have a much harder schedule, and the Bills, in my opinion, are probably going to go 5-1 in their division.
I mean, the only loss would probably be a split to the Patriots, is what we're going to say.
Yeah, I could see the Eagles losing to the Cowboys.
Sweep the Jets. They should sweep the Jets, and I don't want to be mean, but it should be with ease. I know it's a division game, but those games will probably be touchdown or more favorites. Mm-hmm. You play twice. You're going to play the Dolphins, who, in my opinion, are on the down.
We'll get to them in a second.
Sure. Let's just get to them now because
I wanted to finish with the Patriots.
Okay. I
was going to say, Christian Gonzalez looks like he's going to be putting his name in the hat for best cornerback this year. Like I said, a lot of people at the time thought the money they spent for Milton Williams was an overpay. But that is not the case. It's starting to look like he's worth every penny, and he is their defensive leader up front. He's going to be good. And that linebacker core looks good as well. And that run game, I don't think people are talking about this enough. It's gonna be good. That offensive line's gonna be good too. So, yeah, no, I can really see the Patriots making the playoffs this year. And yeah, like you said, Bills division to lose. If there's a struggle for the Bills at any point, I kind of think the Patriots are in prime position to strike and take that division. But yeah, let's round it out. Dolphins. And this is my thing. Kind of take for the year is that they're going to be a bottom 5 team. Um, they might be worse than the Jets. They're not good talent wise. Defensively, they look pathetic. Again, it's joint practice, so I don't want to overreact, but all of the reports that came out of the Dolphins and Lions joint practice when it was the Lions offense against the Dolphins defense it wasn't even fair for the Dolphins. It was like two different levels of football.
Yeah.
Or levels of football. I don't know why I'm sorry. Yeah, two different levels of football. So I don't think the Dolphins, I could easily see them being a bottom 5 team, having a top 5 pick. I think we might see Tua Tagovailoa's name getting thrown around in trade conversations halfway or by the end of the year, because I think they're going to start to be rebuilding. And yeah, I mean, I've started to see some reports in the last couple of days that they're trying to like change their whole like team identity now. And I just feel like this is not, and when you're doing that, that's the sign of it's time for a rebuild. Because like, I mean, let's look at it, right? And I don't know if you've heard any of this, but in the past 3 years, what has the Dolphins' offense style been, right? Speed, like dink and dunk, get the ball outside to your playmakers
Hill,
and
Waddle,
go, right? Now they're trying to retool for ground and pound football. Where does that leave Jalen Waddle? Where does that leave Tyreek Hill? Where does that leave Devon Achane? So it's just like I think you're going to see all these players get moved probably this year. We'll see if they keep Tua Tagovailoa. Mike McDaniels is probably going to get fired this year as well. That's going to suck. I think he'd make a good coordinator or offensive coordinator if he went to somewhere, but we'll see if he comes back to the NFL. And again, this is all a little early to say. They could have a great season, turn everything around, but from what I've seen in other historical patterns and just what I look at when I look at that roster and see their clips, I don't see anything that thinks that they're going to be competitive this year. I mean, Minkah Fitzpatrick, they traded Jalen Ramsey for Minkah Fitzpatrick, which is a really good move for the Steelers because I think Minkah Fitzpatrick's kind of lost a step, whereas Jalen Ramsey seems to be playing just as good as he can. So, yeah. I'm not big at all on the Dolphins. I'm sure you're not either, but yeah, I could very well them.
I'm not downing the Dolphins as much as you are, but of course, I don't think they're going to be a playoff team this season.
I genuinely think they're going to.
I think the misery of Miami will continue.
Yeah, I think they're going to be last in their division. I could see them winning maybe 5 games. So, but is there any division you'd like to speak about?
I feel like we've done a lot of coverage in the NFL about the NFC South. We've talked about the NFC North, of course, has noise. We talked about
NFC West, AFC North.
Talked about a lot of divisions. The only one that maybe we didn't touch on a little bit is the AFC West, but I think that's honestly
maybe next episode we'll talk about the other ones that we didn't touch. We didn't do AFC West, AFC South, NFC East, or NFC South. So, yeah, maybe we can try and come back to that next episode. But is there anything you want to do a Brooks bomb? Anything you want to close it out with?
Sure. You know me. I love my Brooks bombs, so let's do it. Boom, boom, boom. Brooks's bombs back better than ever. Let me say this real quick. I actually wore my kit, as you say, my jersey for Brooks's bombs today. The Premier League is back up and running. You know me, I'm a big soccer guy. First weekend, there's one more game on Monday, but first weekend, of course, soccer's back. I always try to get Barron into it, but it's not really his type of sport, so it's not really going to work. If I had to choose between baseball or soccer, I would honestly want him to get into one of them, but he's not one of those guys. So, yeah, when the Phillies are bad, though, I understand. Like that's not a good team. Oh, you're going to win the division, but I'm saying when the Phillies are bad, right? Like it's just in general, if they were bad, you wouldn't get into baseball, right? But if they're good, you get into baseball. No, I'm not blaming you. That's probably the right thing to do, you know. Yeah. So there you go. Other than that, I'm a big yapper on it, as you know. So I just wanted my Brooks's bombs is Liverpool are going to win the league. There you go. Boom. Said it live. Said it on mic. There you go.
There you go. All right. I don't really know what that means, but go for it.
Liverpool are going to win the league. He doesn't know what that means.
I'm joking.
I know.
I know Liverpool Soccer Club. All right. Well, yeah, I don't have anything else. If that's where you want.
Well, you know what that means? That means that'll be another episode of Nothing Agree. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, let us know if you have any worst to firsts or any crazy other predictions you have for the NFL. But until then,
hold on. I was about to say, don't. If you got any ideas for any sort of thing you kind of want us to do, leave a comment, reach out to us.
Of course.
We love to hear great ideas.
We love to hear, of course, you yelling at us. That's engagement.
And I think we should probably, like we probably put some about it out last episode. But if you want to come on and talk with us about some sort of topic for like 10 minutes, we'd love to interact with you guys. So yeah, just leave a comment, reach out to us, let us know. We'll try and get you on, because now that we're both back at school, summer's over, we should probably have a more routine recording schedule instead of just, hey, you free? So.
Fact. Anyways, that'll be another episode. Thank you all for tuning in, and peace.